Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast with Phil Graham. We help you master Facebook ads and give you an unfair advantage over your competition. Are you ready? Let's go.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast, episode 380. That's a big number, you guys. I'm Phil Graham. Today, I'm going to talk about mastering Instagram Reels ads. And I want to share some expert tips that could help you potentially maximize your impact. So you might be thinking, well, why Reels specifically? And the answer is because tons of people use Reels. In fact, it's one of the best placements you can target in this day and age. For some people, they don't even use the regular part of Instagram. They just use Reels. And so it's a huge opportunity. Yes, you should be using other placements too, of course. But you should also have some Reels specific ads from time to time that you test. And you can have some ads that go to all placements at the same time as well. But you should really be testing this because there's a big opportunity here. So I'm glad you guys are here. I've got a quick PSA for you. Not everybody knows this, but if you are boosting posts, first of all, you shouldn't be boosting posts. I always tell people it's kind of like going into the casino and playing slot machines. It's the easiest thing to do, but it's also the least amount of odds. You can get better odds doing other things, and I would never boost a post. I would always recommend doing real ads in the ads manager because you have a lot more options. But, little PSA, if you are boosting posts, if you're still doing it, if you do it in your iOS app for Facebook or Instagram, it actually can cost you more money because Apple is charging a fee for that. So if you're intent on still boosting posts, just make sure you do it on the computer and not through the Apple iOS apps for Facebook or Instagram. And that should save you some money. But again, I don't recommend anybody to boost posts. There's better ways to go about doing it. I just don't want you to lose money if you do. Now, before we jump in, if you guys want to get in touch, if you're looking for some coaching or somebody to run your ads for you, my website is philgrahamdigital.com. I love working with clients. I love helping people. I also love coaching one-on-one. And I believe it's the best way to learn this stuff. So whether you're looking for coaching or ads run for you, philgrahamdigital.com is the place to go. Or you can DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital. So let's jump into this. I want to keep this short, sweet, full of value, and very actionable for you guys. We're going to talk about how to master Instagram Reels ads, some best practices. As always, there are different ways to go about this. Not everything is going to work for everybody, but these best practices have worked really well for us. And a lot of these things, really most of them, are things that I've seen Meta say and recommend as well. So let's jump right into it. First of all, when you create Instagram Reels ads, you should be creating in the 9:16 aspect ratio. That's really important. If you're using your phone, it's obviously going to be vertical, not horizontal. But I do see a lot of people creating stuff for Reels that just don't really fit that placement. And so you should create for Reels specifically, meaning vertical and 9:16 aspect ratio. That can help you a lot. Number two, you really need to have a great hook at the beginning of your videos. Now, this is true for any kind of ad, but it's especially true for Reels ads. If you don't have something that is going to get their attention within the first 3 seconds, then there's a very good chance that people are not going to keep watching. And then it doesn't matter what you have in the rest of the video. You've lost them. So make sure that you're not starting the video off with an introduction. People don't care about that yet. They want to hear something that's going to benefit them or something that's going to make them laugh or inspire them or a question to make them think or something. But it should apply to them, not you. So make sure you're starting off your Instagram Reels videos with a hook. The next tip for your Instagram Reels ads is audio and music. I highly recommend that your Reels ads have music. In fact, if you look at Reels, whether they're ads or not, most of them have music and audio effects and talking in them as well. And so that's something you definitely want to make sure you leverage. Now, you want to be careful because on some platforms, Reels, TikTok, stuff like that, you can sometimes use songs that are like popular songs that are copywritten. You can sometimes use those organically. You definitely cannot use those in many cases as an ad though. So when you're running an ad, you want to make sure that you're using music and sound effects that are copyright free, that you're able to use. Facebook and other platforms have sound libraries, and there's other places you can buy this kind of stuff as well. But just make sure you're not using music that you shouldn't be using, but you should absolutely be using music. The next tip is really to focus on whatever your key message is. You want that message to show up in what's called the safe zone of the video. So on Reels, there's going to be parts like the top and bottom that are sometimes covered with your profile info and things like that. And sometimes people extend into that, and that's okay. But your main message, like if you have text popping up on the screen, for example, which you should, that should be in the safe zone. So when you upload your Reels video ads, it's actually literally going to show you the video. It's going to show you the safe zones. You want to make sure that you are putting that text and those key messages in those safe zones so it never gets cut off. The next tip is to make sure you guys feature people in your video. Now, you don't have to do this with every video. We definitely run some videos that are just products and things like that, and those can do well also. But I will say that more often than not, when there's a person in the video or multiple people, especially if it's somebody talking in the video, those can sometimes produce better than if there's not a person or people in the video. So I wouldn't do this all the time. Like I said, we run videos without people, but I would definitely be testing this because when you get it right, that can make a big difference. I would definitely test people in your videos. The next thing I would recommend is not overcomplicating your Reels ad. Have a very simple message. You need to make sure that the video is not too long. Go like 30 to 59 seconds, somewhere around there. And don't try and talk about too many things. If you overcomplicate it, it's probably not going to work very well. Make sure it's short and sweet and simple and easy to consume and easy to understand. And that leads me into my next tip: fast moving transitions. When people are watching Reels, they're used to stuff moving quickly. You don't want to bore them in a Reel, especially in a Reels ad. So you want to have transitions and different cuts and things like that, kind of moving in and out of your video, and do it pretty quickly. If you've watched a lot of Reels, you know what I'm talking about. But these things can make a big difference. Now, you don't want to do it so much that it becomes distracting because it's way too much, but you also don't want to do it too little and just have it be a static video without any transitions. But I would definitely recommend fast moving transitions throughout your Reels ad. And then my last two tips are use captions and text and stickers and things like that to reinforce your message and get people's attention and keep their attention. There's a lot of people that will watch videos with the sound off, so you should always have captions on your videos anyway. But in addition to captions, having text pop up on the screen when you want to emphasize a certain point that you're talking about in the video, or a sticker or graphic, it can help keep their attention, keep them engaged. It can look really good as well. Those can do really well in Reels ads. So I highly recommend you guys leverage that. And then last but not least, the final tip today, I recommend definitely testing a stories and Reels only placement. Now, we do run ads where we have a video and we have the placements go everywhere. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's totally fine. But in addition to that, I would test in many situations a stories and Reels only placement. So we're going to do manual placements and only choose stories and Reels. And then that allows us to do a couple things. Number one, we can create the video specifically 100% for that Reels placement and stories. So it's perfect for that. It's going to fit and look perfectly in that placement. That's number one. And then number two, we can really test Reels adequately because since that's the only placement, that's going to get 100% of the budget for that campaign or ad set. And so it's going to help us know, is that working how we want it to work? Is it working well or not? And then if it's not, we can fix it. If it is, we can do more of it. So my friends, these are some really good tips. I recommend you guys try these out. They've worked really well for us, and it could really help you optimize your Reels ad. If you're not advertising on Reels, I highly recommend you start. And if you are, keep trying to get better because there's a lot of opportunity on there. All right, episode 380 is in the books. Thank you guys so much for listening. I've got another great episode for you guys next week, and I will talk to you then. If you want to get in touch, philgrahamdigital.com is the website, or DM me on Instagram at philgrahamdigital. Talk to you soon. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to the Next Level Facebook Ads Podcast. Please remember to subscribe and share this with all your friends. For show notes, more tips, and to learn more about Phil, please visit philgrahamdigital.com/podcast.